Hello guys, once again it's Matt, and today we have another video. Thank you all the members, all the patrons. Make sure to subscribe and let's get into it, guys. And today we are going to do another tier list, but today we're going to talk about CAS aircraft, the best CAS aircraft that we have in the game. What is being used here as a CAS aircraft is basically an aircraft that can actually use guided ammunition. There are some that are missing, mainly because they are fighters, okay? I'm going to basically use aircraft that are mainly a ground attacker. Of course, some of them can actually defend themselves, but mainly in the match itself, in the ground battles, it would be a CAS aircraft, okay? So there are some exceptions like the Harrier GR7 that can defend itself fairly well, or even, I don't know, an Su-17, a MiG-27, but in general, I'm just picking aircraft that are CAS focused on a ground battle, okay, and can deal a lot of damage with the guided stuff. So in higher tiers, so rank 7 and 8, with some exceptions. In general, it is that. So we are dividing it 5 ranks. Tank Hunter, the best aircraft for CAS. The Great Butt aircraft that are great, but they have a little bit of a thing. They're expensive to buy, or they have a little bit of a trouble with some things specifically, or in general they have a little bit of a problem in some area. Not great, not terrible aircraft that can be used fairly well, but you need to be careful with AA systems and, you know, other fighters as well. You can do it, but aircraft that are, you are able to do CAS with them, but they are very, for the BR that they have, you know, they're problematic. And then aircraft that I would never use it, you know, aircraft that are really, really bad, and I would just stay away from it, or there's a specific reason for it. Remember, guys, I'm taking into account the BRs of these aircraft. So, of course, a higher BR aircraft is going to be better than a lower BR aircraft. So an Su-22 M4 is going to be better than an Su-22 UM3K. But the thing is that in the BR that they have, are they really that different? You know, are they worth to use over it, in taking into account the BR range of the aircraft and stuff? So yeah, let's get to it. So A10s, guys. A10s, I think they are great, but there is a problem with it. I think the late one is even worse than the early one just because of the BR. With the early one, you can do the same amount of damage, basically, or almost the same amount of damage than the late model in ground battles, but with a lower BR. So in general, the early is better for the BR, but of course in performance, the late is better with better Mavericks and better, or not better, but more AIM-9s, you know. So in general, the early, it's a very good option. It's just that the late has better weaponry. The only problem with them is that they are big, they're slow, and they can be killed very easily with any type of fighter or any type of AA system. So that's why they are great, but they have this little trouble. The A7D, I think, guys, for a CAS option, I think you can, but there is a problem with it. They use Mavericks. The Maverick is problematic, or any TV guided weaponry, to be honest. They are quite expensive, and for together with that, to spawn in, I mean, and together with that, with the performance that the A7 has, I mean, you can do it, but I wouldn't advise to you to do it. The A10, I think it's a little bit more capable, and it's just a more fun aircraft to fly anyway. The A7E also has some troubles with that. It is a little bit different, uses bombs instead of the Mavericks, you know, with the TV guided one. So they're kind of in the same realm over here. I guess the Mavericks are going to be a little bit easier to use because you can fire from further away. But also the A7E is going to cost a little bit less because it's a TV guided bomb and not a TV guided missile to respawn in. In the A7K, I mean, yeah, it's on the same realm of these ones as well, of course. It's the double-seated one, event vehicle. The A6E, guys, I think, honestly, this is normally better than these, you know. It has some troubles with the way that it flies and everything like that, but for the BR, I must say, it's probably even a tank hunter. It is an amazing aircraft. The only problem with it is that it's a premium, so there is that. So probably that's why I'm going to do it as a great aircraft, but there is a problem with it. It is a premium aircraft, right? But for air to ground with the guided weaponry, it can take a lot of bombs, and it's laser guided bomb, so it's very cheap, it's faster than these two, and it can defend itself in the same kind of way, you know, it's not really that, but I would much rather have an A6 than an A10 to ground battles, but mainly because of the guided bombs, okay? Then we go for Germany, the Su-22 UM3K. Guys, if you're going to use it as a tank hunter, I mean, you can even do it, but I honestly, like, it's problematic. The laser missiles are kind of hard to use, and you're going to end up getting yourself destroyed. You know, it's a problematic aircraft because of the aiming system that this thing has. So I would try to stay away from it. The Su-22 M4, though, it is a much improved aircraft. I think it's one of the best ones out here, but I still think that it's not great, not terrible, just because of the aiming system that it still has for the laser stuff, and for the TV guided stuff, it doesn't have a lot of options to use. And the KH-29Ts take a lot of points for you to respawn in, so it's quite expensive. It doesn't have a pod or anything like that, so you need to find the targets. It's not really the greatest thing ever, but it is better than the Su-22 UM3K because of that. The Tornado IDS Asta, I think, is the best option over here. I must say, guys, it's even better than these things, and I probably would put it as a tank hunter. It has a little bit of a problem compared to these two, because all of them, it has less bombs than this one, but it still carries a lot of bombs. It's faster, it has better flight performance. In general, it's just a better aircraft overall, and it has an amazing pod as well. So I think I would take a Tornado IDS for CAS over any of these aircraft, but you know, it depends on the BR that you are playing and everything like that. Su-17M2 suffers from the same problem as the UM3K. The guided stuff is very limited, and the aiming reticle is very hard to use, so to hunt tanks with guided stuff, it's really hard. Su-22 M3 suffers from the same problem. I still think that, depending on the situation, it might be better or worse than the UM3K, but yeah, the UM3K, if I'm not mistaken, has more countermeasures, so it should be a little bit better. Su-17 M4, it's on the same level as these ones. I mean, there's not much we can even talk about. Same level of performance, same level of aiming systems and everything like that. And while we are talking about that, the MiG-27M is also on here. I still prefer it over these ones because it is better in performance to actually win in a dogfight, so it can defend itself a little bit better. And the cannon is a lot better to kill tank as well. This cannon can destroy everything. Remember, it's a Gatling 30mm, so yeah, it's like a mini A10. It's really good. The only problem with it is that it doesn't have a you know, like a proper aiming reticle, which the MiG-27K does, you know. So yeah, the M, all the faults the M has, the K solves with the Kaira system, which is basically a camera system on the nose. So it's better to use with laser guided and TV guided weaponry. It's amazing. I still think the Tornado is a better option, but the 27K is still one of the best CAS aircraft. It is limited in the number of missiles and bombs, but it is pretty good nonetheless. It's pretty sniperish, you know. Then we go for the Su-25s. The Su-25s, I think they're all right, you know. The cannon is amazing. You can use the guided, laser guided stuff, but still lacks a lot on defending itself. It has only, you know, the performance. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I would put it in not great, not terrible, probably. I would probably take the MiG-27M, I must say, or I don't know, it would be around here, just because it can take a punch. It can take a lot of missiles and not get killed, but, you know, same type of aiming reticle as these ones, laser guided stuff. It's kind of hard to use, and the performance of these carry these aircraft a little bit, but in general, it's a hard aircraft to use with guided stuff. The Su-25, again, I'm calling it an Su-27 instead of 25, but the Su-25T and the Su-39 are completely different. I think they are one of the best CAS aircraft that we have in the game. I still much rather have a Tornado. Why? Because of the performance of the aircraft. You can climb and get a lot more ground kills with a Tornado sometimes, just because you can get away fairly quickly from the area of coverage of enemy radars on the ground. So the Su-27 or Su-25 has this trouble of the performance of it, but everything else, I mean, it has R-73s, it has Divikir. It is probably the best CAS aircraft in the game if it wasn't for the performance of it. And the Su-25BM is right up here as well. Amazing aircraft, amazing performance, but it has the same troubles as this one. I would say that the MiG-27K is a little bit easier to use even than the 25BM, but they are right there around the same era, you know. Then we have the Jaguar GR1. This thing, I love this thing, guys. I would put it like right up there. It's an amazing aircraft. It really, really is. It has an amazing system to targeting, you know, targets, you know, and it has amazing bombs, amazing everything. It's really, really a good aircraft. It has good performance and you can do a lot of damage. It has a problem of not having a lot of bombs, but it's still very, very deadly, I think. I would say that, yeah, it would probably be right here, just because of that. I mean, the tram has more bombs, right? So I put it right. Just check it, and yes, indeed, the Jaguar GR1 has thermals as well, but the tram has more. The thing is that the Jaguar has more performance, but less bombs, and this thing has more bombs, but less performance. So it depends on what would you choose, right? The Tornado IDS, yeah, very similar to the Asta one. I would put them right here. Yes, it may surprise you guys why I'm putting the Tornado IDS over here, but it's just the sheer performance of it. It's a fast aircraft, which means that you can climb a lot and get people by surprise from far away. It's one of the most successful aircraft that I had for CAS in ground battles. Harrier GR7 as well. Amazing aircraft. I mean, I would put it on the mix over here. It has thermals, it has a lot of bombs and missiles and everything. The performance lacks a little bit, so you need to be careful. So I would put it probably like right here, because it has the thermals and more bombs than the MiG-27. But the performance is a little bit worse, so you need to be careful. The JH-7A, this thing is amazing as well. The sighting systems, the performance, the missiles. I mean, if I was going to ask for it, it probably deserves more bombs and missiles if you would, you know, be able to actually add those. But yeah, it's also a very, very good option. I would put it probably even better than this one. I love this thing. It's fast, it's nimble, it can climb a lot, it can defend itself, and it can destroy targets from far away with missiles, bombs, and everything like that. Q5L, very good option, but the problem is that it only has 2 missiles, so it's very limited on that. Would put it right here. It's an amazing aircraft, amazing performance, MiG-19 levels of performance almost, but it only has 2 bombs, and the cannons are pretty bad. It cannot defend itself properly. It doesn't have flares yet, so it's all right. For guided stuff, it's better than this one's, but it's worse than this one's for everything else. So it's on the mix over here, I would say. It's probably on the mix. Superetendar, same kind of line of thinking as these ones, you know. It's just, the problem is that it doesn't carry a lot of bombs. The performance is not there, quite there, you know, but it's a good aircraft and it can do a lot of damage. Jaguar A, it exchanges the thermals, but it has guided missiles, laser guided missiles, so it depends on what you want, but it will be around the same era over here as well. Very good aircraft, it can deal a lot of damage, and of course it has better missiles than the GR1A to defend itself, which are the Magics. Jaguar E, kind of in the same level over here. Gonna put it right here because it's heavier. Mirage 2000D, guys, this thing, I love this thing. Seriously, like, for me, it's probably the best CAS aircraft that you can have. Why? Because it's technically a fighter, you know. I'm not even I mean, it's problematic to even add it right here because it's a full fighter that, like, it's made to do only CAS, kind of. So it doesn't have BVR or anything like that, but it has an amazing radar. It can defend itself. It can win dogfights. And the air-to-ground is amazing as well. On the level of a Jaguar A, but with thermals and everything like that, the performance is amazing to climb and attack targets from above. So it's just really effective. Really, really good aircraft. AMX A11, I would put it right here as well. I love this thing. It's nimble, it's light, you can do a lot of damage. And the performance is better than some of these aircraft, right? And it has thermals, it has you know, everything. This aircraft is amazing. It really, really is. It doesn't carry a lot of bombs, and you know, it's okay, but it's pretty good. It's right up there with the best aircraft. Aviate-B Plus, of course, as well over here. I think it's very similar to the Harrier GR7, but the thing is that it has the radar, which helps, and in the future it will receive M120s probably, so it will probably be one of the best aircraft for CAS as well because of that. It can defend itself. IDS for Italy as well. I love this thing. Not gonna even say anything about it. I mean, we already did. And then the AJ-37, expensive. I mean, it's a very good aircraft, but the weapon system is kind of weird. You gotta carry one cannon, one countermeasure pod, and then 2 Mavericks, and then the Mavericks are kind of expensive to spawn in, and they're really bad missiles, to be honest, and you only have 2 of them. So it's not the greatest thing ever. And the AJS-37, it is a lot better. You can use it, and I must say it might be even better than some of these. So it's right there. But for CAS, I mean, 4 missiles help, but at the end of the day, it's still kind of the same aircraft as the AJ-37, so it's not the greatest thing ever, right? And this is it, guys. These are the best CAS aircraft that I've played with. You know, all of these are amazing to do CAS, honestly. All of these you can do CAS very, very well, but you need to be careful. All of these you are able to do CAS, but you need to have an extra caution and try to stay away from AA systems and everything like that. These ones, I mean, you can do it, but they have some troubles doing so. And then these 4 that are the most difficult ones to use, depending on the BR that they are and stuff. So there's always a better option on their tech trees of using a fighter or a multi-role option or everything like that, you know. So depending on the BR that you are here, just use another aircraft with dumb stuff instead of using this one with the guided stuff that they have, because they are really, really limited on that regard. Doesn't mean that with non-guided stuff they cannot be good. It's just that with the guided stuff that they have are a little bit difficult to use. So yeah, these are my choices. Let me know in the comments what would be your choices, and I see you guys on the next one. Bye guys.